And so now we're live, and I want to welcome you to this Saturday morning edition of New Distributor Training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International, and it's my privilege to be the host this morning. I want to do two things before we get started. First of all, I want to welcome all of you that have made a decision to take a few minutes out of your Saturday morning to join us, or maybe you're watching us on the recording replay on the YouTube channel. You've made a great decision to be here this morning because we have one of the industry's legends joining us this morning to talk a little bit about what we're doing here in Zija International. I want you to, number two, I want you to grab your journal. I want you to grab your journal, your notebook, or whatever it is that you're using to archive the information you're going to be gathering over this time that you're involved with Zija International. It's something that I've been doing for, oh geez, my first Saturday morning new distributor training was almost 35 years ago. And for those of you trying to do the math, I started network marketing when I was 5. Not really, but it's something that you're going to want to do to be able to start archiving this knowledge and information, because the cornerstone of success in our business isn't so much what we do, but rather what we impart to others. That's really the greatest thing about this profession in network marketing, is an opportunity to give back. And certainly, you know, what I've been experiencing now for a number of years with Zija International, to help people be able to experience the things that many of us have been able to experience, to have, you know, the ability to work from home, to call our own hours, to focus on the things that are important in our life, as opposed to making the job the most important thing, because that's what makes the money, and then all the other things that are important to us end up becoming second and third and what have you. This morning, I want to share with you a story of a gentleman that has joined our business. Reid and Yvonne Nelson, and for many of you that have been with us for a while, they need no introduction. Reid and Yvonne Nelson are legends in network marketing. They've been in the industry 40 plus years, very modest folks. They'll never tell you or demonstrate to you, you know, the incredible vast amount of wealth they've been able to accumulate because of what they've shared with many people over the years. A few years ago, they were looking not for themselves, but for a different opportunity because of some changes that had happened in the company they'd been with for a couple of decades. And they chose Zija International not because of how well we were doing then, but rather because of where we were going, and they were looking for a place for their team. You know, they could have retired, you know, decades ago, but they were looking for a place for their team. Reid and his wife have become one of the, you know, the cornerstones of Zija International now, our newest Black Diamonds, and I'm very excited to have a few minutes of Reid's time for our meeting this morning. I'm going to bring Reid over to this side of the broadcast, and Reid, you're coming over here, so just make sure that you know, you're all prepared, right? So ladies and gentlemen, somebody I've admired for many years, long before he joined Zija International, and I'm so privileged to be able to have him part of our company today. Reid, good to see you, sir.
Good morning, Fred.
How are you, my friend?
Wonderful.
You know, I got to tell you, the last time Reid and I were together, you know, physically, was a few weeks ago. We were heading out to the Zija One Leadership Conference in Arizona, and you know, and I had to get up early to get out to LAX, and I, you know, got there early enough to drop into the Delta Sky Lounge and get a little bite to eat. And I look over, and there's Reid and Yvonne. Now, understand, they were up long before me, because they had already had to fly out of Portland to LAX, and I knew they had to be at least as tired as me, if not way more tired. And what did he say when I said, "How you doing?" He said, "I'm doing wonderful." Just like that. I mean, Reid, you're amazing to me sometimes, and just so thrilled to have you here this morning. I know that you've got a meeting coming up here shortly, so I want to take advantage of the time for our team members that have joined us this morning New distributor training, we try to always focus on something a little bit different to keep the mix going. Today's topic, if you will, was prospecting 101, successful prospecting 101. And actually, I wrote that down right here. Very top of this notes here. I wrote down a quote from you. You have an 80% better chance of sponsoring someone if you're not alone. Reid Nelson. And folks, I want to point out, if you're not already engaged in the Zija Champions Facebook page for all Zija distributors, you need to go get signed up for that, join that particular Facebook group. Reid did a live broadcast a couple of days ago. I didn't get to see it live. My schedule's a little different. I have to do these things really early in the morning. So it was like really early in the morning. I'm watching the replay and I'm thinking to myself, this is gold. This is absolutely gold. So if you haven't seen that broadcast, Reid, you need to go there and watch that. And Reid, you have helped so many people. I mean, probably thousands and thousands of people over the years between, Zija, your previous companies, and that sort of thing. Maybe we can focus on just a few things while we have you. What would you consider to be like the major components in successful prospecting? Because that's what we do, and make no mistake about it. That's our business. We acquire new customers, we acquire new distributors, we teach them to do the same thing. Maybe you can give us some thoughts on what you would consider to be, the most important ingredients to successful prospecting.
Well, yeah, thank you, Fred. Thank you for having me on. Sorry. I think the most successful ingredient in everything that we do, number one, is attitude. When we talk to people, if it's somebody we know, if it's an acquaintance, a stranger, whatever it might be, we hear the word posture a lot, and it's the perception they have of us. Are we positive? I always like to tell people that the main thing as they look at you is, are you sincere and are you enthusiastic? Are you coming across like, well, I'd really like to share something with you I'm really excited about. Or how are you doing? My name's Reid Nelson. It's nice to meet you, whatever. And with a smile on your face, with a good firm handshake, and putting off good vibrations. You don't have to be great. You don't have to know everything. In fact, you have to know very little. But if people sense your energy, if you've got sincerity and enthusiasm, it's an attraction, And so first and foremost becomes our attitude. I know you've read this, but in Earl Nightingale's mega successful thing many, many years ago, he said this in the first chapter of Lead the Field. He said, first, it's our attitude at the beginning of a task, which more than anything else will bring about its successful outcome. Now, when he said that, he said, first, it's our attitude at the beginning of a task. Well, that task could be prospecting, that task could be talking on the phone, that task could be getting up in the morning. Whatever that task is, it's all about your attitude going into that task that matters. Because that attitude will bring about a successful outcome or not.
And that is incredible because, I was actually sharing something with one of our team members here just this past week that, I don't always get on the phone, mentally geared up. And when I'm not, things don't go well. So I start, by preparing myself in my mind. Geez, everybody's looking forward to my call. Everybody wants to talk to me. Everybody wants to buy from me. Everybody's excited that I'm calling them. And it's, it's one of those kind of axioms, if you believe it, then it's going to happen, So often we forget that we control everything around us through our mindset. And
right.
It's, they don't teach that kind of stuff in school and on the job workforce. That's why most people can't make the kind of money we can make in network marketing, because nobody's been teaching them the real stuff. And folks, if you noticed here, I'm taking notes on what Reid's saying.
Well, it's interesting because, that whole attitude thing, it works. It's absolutely correct in every way, shape, or form. I took did a whole bunch of time with Bob Proctor over the years, and he redid the Lead the Field program. And it's the same program, done just kind of updated, so to speak. And during that process, I was asked by him to repeat that statement, first under attitudes, beginning of a task, that statement, every single day, 10 times a day, until I got a certain thing accomplished. So I don't have to look at it anymore. It's in here. Believe me. I've done that thousands of times over the years. And so therein lies the real secret to all of our success in reality, is doing the things that other people won't do. Like picking up a book and reading it, like listening to audiobooks, permeating our mind with things that we want. Red, oftentimes, I know I'm going to get a little field here. You got my mind ticking now, so you're in trouble.
This is what we want.
There's 4 decisions people have to make, and I've shared this with you before on this call sometime, way a long time ago. There's 4 decisions people should want to make. Okay, they don't need to do anything. In fact, the word "need" doesn't test very well in the human mind. We don't need to do anything. We should want to do things, right? And the number one thing is decide what we want. Most people truly don't know what they want. They think they do, but it obviously, for the most part, doesn't stir them to do whatever it would take. And when you really have what you want down, and it's in your mind, and it's driving you out the door, that's what you really want. Some people would say they want more money and all that, but at the end of the day, it isn't really the money they're after. It's what the money will do for them that they're after. I tell people all the time, money is the most valuable commodity money can buy you is time, which you already know about. Time is a precious commodity, and we want to get to people to the point where they have money and time at the same time, right?
Right.
And so that's what money's really for. Yes, we want to drive a nice car. Yes, we want to have a nice home. All those things. We've had all that stuff. They didn't inspire me anymore, but it does others. So we have to make sure we have to, really find out what they want. There's a great book by John Maxwell out there called "Put Your Dream to the Test." John Maxwell is one of the great leadership trainers in the world, in my opinion. And that book is "Put Your Dream to the Test," and you'll go through there and do a bunch of exercises and things. And when you come out the other end, you should have identified what your real dream is. And it's really, really an excellent book and a great thing to do. So number 1, decide what you want. Number 2, and really important, is decide what you're willing to give up to get what you want. Most people would just like to, well, I'm really not, I remember this way, way back when, maybe 40 plus years ago, a guy told me, well, that's my bowling night. And I went, wow, that's interesting, because we had a big gathering on an evening, and I really wanted this guy there. I said, well, how much is AMF going to pay you? Now, I understand that it's a commitment you've made. You've got a team, and I understand all those things. I've been that, on a bowling team. Although we've done that too. And so it's like, but you can miss one. You can miss one to perhaps change your future. So what are you willing to give up to get what you really want? What we want isn't going to just be handed to us. It's going to take some time and effort and energy. So decide up front, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up to get what you want? Because something's going to give somewhere. You have to give up your life for sure. But then there are certain things you won't give up, and I think you shouldn't. But there are things that can definitely go by. How about cutting out TV time? Oh my gosh, what a deal. So anyway.
TV, chewing gum for the brain.
Yeah, exactly. Just melt ourselves into sleeplessness here, Anyway, so decide what you want, decide what you're willing to give up to get what you want. Number 3 is, they're all really important. Number 3 is decide, and this is decision. Decide to associate yourself with people that are in life where you want to be. It's amazing. And I'm not a person who puts people down. I do not do that. I don't like to do that. It's like, if you hang out with people that aren't doing anything or going anywhere, guess what? You're going to end up not doing anything and not going anywhere. So you want to associate yourself with people that are where you want to be. It's like in next July, we've got the summit coming. Why wouldn't you want to go to summit? You want to go to Summit. It's important to go to Summit. That's where everybody goes. That's where the who's who of Zija International is going to be. You know, you want to be there. You'll meet people from all over the world. It's a great place to network. You want to meet people from this country and that country, from this state, that state. So then you have contacts there. You have people you know. It's a great place to network. It's a great place to do everything. But that's important. It's association. You know, it's like the Zija One conference. What a great place to associate with people. Oh my gosh, it was wonderful. We had a great time. You know, so who you decide to associate yourself with? You know, we've decided a long time ago to associate ourselves with successful people. Yeah, I get talking so fast I can't even talk. So there you go. And number 4, and this is mega important, but so most people won't do it. It's plan your work and work your plan. Plan your work and work your plan. You know, how about if prospecting is so easy. You're talking about prospecting, right? So prospecting is, you know, there's a Safeway store down the street here from us, and it's kind of a big strip mall thing, you know, and there's a new business going in. I didn't know what it was. You can just see them in there working and making new walls and putting up things and all that. Well, this last week they opened up, and it's a grand opening, cryotherapy. I went, huh, I wonder what that is. I have no idea what that is. You know, I mean, I've heard of cryo something or other. Maybe that's where we freeze our bodies for time and eternity or whatever, do we? I didn't think that's what it was. So I went in and introduced myself to the guy. And people said, well, Reid, you can do that. It was really easy. I said, hey, what do you guys do? What is cryotherapy? I don't even know what that is. The guy took a few minutes. His name was Brian, really nice guy. He's the owner of the place. And he took the time, gave me a little flyer here. And I met him. I said, well, that's interesting. I said, he says, what do you do? Because I really baited him, you know. So what do you do? I said, well, we own a company here in the area as well. And I told him it's called RYN LLC. It's really cute. What's that mean? It said Reid and Yvonne Nelson, RYN. Oh, that's good. I like that. Really simple. And I said, one of the things we do, and I just knew that I said, one of the things we deal with is CBD. And not your normal CBD, but a transdermal CBD patch. That's something you have to ingest, like that. I go, that's really easy. I might be able to use something like that here. I went, yeah, I think you probably could. So we had a little conversation. He was busy, so I didn't take a whole lot of time. We exchanged business cards. He gave me permission to send him some information. How hard was that?
Not hard.
Not hard at all. There's a gazillion small businesses out there. And you can't walk into JCPenney and do that because they're all employees, clerks. But every small business has an owner, and they're usually there 24/7. Mm-hmm. And so go introduce yourself around. It's not a big deal. Not hard. You don't have to say anything great. Just have a great attitude. Go in with a smile. What do you do exactly? Tell me about it. It's really easy. Talk to people. Hey, as you know, we're involved with a company called Zija now. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, I thought I told you. But something we're really excited about, and I really would like to have you take a look at it. Can I send you something to look at? That's it.
Now, one of the things that I know you've experienced, you and Yvonne, over the years, obviously, not every single person is open to hearing about your product. Not every single person is open to hearing about your opportunity. This concept of taking our own emotional attachment to our prospects out of the picture and focusing on more of the concept of being a sorter. That's something that anybody who's been as successful as you has been able to master. Maybe we can talk a little bit about, that concept of, not, living and dying behind somebody else's, opinion of what we're doing or who we are, whatever.
Yeah, you hear that all the time. People say, well, I've talked to 5 people and they all said no. They start to cry almost. Nobody wants to do this. Well, wait a minute, time out, Like you say, don't take it personally. If they're just not saying no to you as an individual human being, they say they want to understand what you have. So next, the rejection factor is what drives most people away. Mm-hmm. They cannot handle rejection. And so they need some good personal growth stuff, right? They need to read The Magic of Thinking Big, by David Schwartz. It was a great book. It was the first book I ever read. I mean, when I first got involved in sales way back when, in the life insurance industry. Actually, my manager who hired me gave me that book. So you need to read this book. I said, okay, I did. It was the first book in the world I ever read that said I could do anything I put my mind to do. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big, and, you don't take it personally. It's nothing. It's like water off your back. Does it hurt sometimes? Yeah, it does, all of us. I mean, it's not like we're all immune to, oh, but I got the attitude when I left some of those people I was on the phone or was with them in person and they rejected me somehow. In my mind, I said, huh, I thought they were really smarter than that. And I laughed about it and I walked on. That's kind of what I told myself, guys, I thought he was smarter than that. Wow, interesting. And just walk away, where there's one no, there's one yes. You just have to find them, and, Fred, I can't even tell you, and maybe it's not, I love how Pat Anderson tells me all the time, it just starts with two, right? It's two people. Let's talk to the first two people that come to your mind. Who are your first two people you want to be in your business with you? Let's go talk to them. I didn't say make a list of 1,000 or 100 or any of those things. Let's start with two. Once you've got two, then we get two more. We go one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, and that's really how this thing works. Now, we know, it's just kind of obvious that people, if you're going to get to the top of this thing, it'd be a triple crown diamond elite or something, which is the goal, right? That it's going to take more people than two. Okay, but it doesn't start there. You don't start there. You start by becoming a builder, right? Getting two. Start there. So it's one step at a time. Learn, plug in. Peak, pass, and play. Peak, pass, and play, right? Plug, peak, pass, and plug, right? And that's an art form too. I always tell people right up front that I want you to do. If I got their attention, I want you to look at the business opportunity, take a good look at the products, because you don't like the product, you're not going to come in anyway, right? That's a conclusion you can make. And then at some point, I want to introduce you to a couple of people that we're involved with. I think you'll enjoy that. And I want you to know who you're dealing with. Fair enough? Okay. So that three-way call that a lot of people are afraid of is already set up in their mind. It's not something I add on later. It's right up front. It's right up front. I have people say, I just can't get anybody to do a three-way call. That's because you're asking them if they want to do one. If you set it up properly, it's just part of the process. And
that is really key what you just said, Reid, that in the process, of peak, pass, plug, this is what I'd like to do. And then line out to them what you're asking them to do, since they are open to taking a look. And so they know in advance you're going to send them information. They're going to, maybe experience the product. They're going to be talking to a couple of people. That's, in their mind, that's the process, as opposed to, you send them information, in their mind, they're going to say yes or no, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, I want you to do your due diligence. Before we joined Zija, we did our due diligence. We looked at a lot of companies, right? And we decided this was the best place to be. And so we did our due diligence. We didn't just say somebody calls on the phone and say, hey, this is an awesome thing. Okay, I'm in. No, that's not what we did.
No.
It's no. And so I think people, as we talk to other people, we should keep that in mind, that we want them to do your due diligence. And so a good business person is going to do their due diligence. They're going to look at the company, going to look at the product, going to talk to some people. That is due diligence. So just make it easy for them.
And you bring up something, let me, because I only got a couple more minutes of your time. Let's maybe talk about this, because you made something that just stuck in my head. A business person is going to do their due diligence. Too often I see people approaching, some of their contacts because in their mind, they're the easy ones, or they're the ones that if they said no, they won't care. The distributor won't care. Maybe you can do talk a little bit about, defining who are we looking for and what does that person look like? Because honestly, let's be realistic. Not everybody out there that we meet on a day-to-day business is somebody we should be prospecting for the opportunity. I mean, everybody needs a product, right? I mean, that's a given. But not everybody we're going to meet is somebody we should be actually talking to about joining our business, right? Because we're going to be putting a lot of time and energy into helping them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if people, there again, it's like due diligence. Get a piece of paper out. I always have yellow pads and red pens right on my desk here, right? And write down the attributes of what you're looking for. Who are you looking for, really? I'm looking for somebody who's ambitious. I'm looking for somebody who's honest. I'm looking for somebody who's nice, you know. And so if I talk to somebody, I might call you, Fred, as a friend and say, Fred, listen, I'm looking for two people who are just really ambitious but super nice people. Who do you know like that? I mean, how simple is that? They don't have to be the CEO of some major corporation. They're probably not going to be. You know, I'm sure we get some of those once in a while. You know, that's pretty rare, right? And so it's like, what kind of person do you look for? I'm looking for somebody who's honest. I'm looking for somebody who has a good work ethic. I'm looking for somebody who wants to have some fun. You know, I tell people all the time in my meetings, you've heard me say this too. It's look, when we got involved in network marketing many, many years ago, we did it for 3 reasons. Number one was to make some money. Let's be honest, right? Money. It's important. I love Zig Ziglar's thought, you know. I love Zig. He was great. You know? He said, money's not everything, but it's right up there next to oxygen, right? So no, it's not everything. But you know what? If we're going to be in business, let's make it a profitable one, right? So number one is money. Number two, what's some fun? Let's have some fun here. You know, this isn't, if it's going to be a grind and hard, why bother? You know, we need to have some fun. You know, once in a while I get stuck out in rush hour traffic, very rare, because I love my commute. It's from that end of the hall to this end of the hall, you know. And so I don't get stuck much out there. But when I do, I look around and go, these people look unhappy and angry, and most of them just aren't happy. They're going to work every day for what? Money. That's the bottom line. And they're not enjoying it. So we need to have fun and show people we do fun things. You know, we take a few trips, we do this, we do that, whatever. Anyway, make some money, have some fun. And lastly, truly, number three has to be there. We have to help people. We absolutely have to help people, physically and financially, both. Okay? And so, and I told my wife many, many years ago, 47 plus years ago, in fact is in March will be 48 years in network marketing. Unbelievable. And so I said, if the ideal business for me, if I could find this, would be money. I could make a lot of money. I could have a lot of fun while I'm doing it. And I could help a lot of people. If you find something like that, it just can't get any better. And we have that right here.
You know, you are, anybody that is listening right now, Reid, should be experiencing the two things I'm experiencing. Number one, what you do, I could do that. Okay. You haven't said anything that is like, you know, so beyond the capacity of the average person to do. And number two, why wouldn't you want to do those things? Who do you know wouldn't want to, you know, have more money, you know, have more fun and help people? Because honestly, there's a lot of people out there who want a lot of money and want to have fun, but if they don't care enough about other people, they're not going to do well in our business anyway.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. You know, because we, you know, and that comes to also attitude. If falling in love with what you're doing, people need to see you're enjoying it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make the best sales pitch. You don't have to do any of those things. Just be sincere, enthusiastic, love what you do, love them, show concern, ask questions about them, show concern for them, genuine concern, and you'll be fine. This works if you do.
Got to do the work part. Networking, right?
Working. You know what? An old friend of mine used to say all the time, but he'd leave the most important part out. He said, get in, stay in, and never quit. I said, well, that's good, but you can get in and stay in and never quit, never do anything. You know, I've been here for years. Well, good for you. You know, so it's get in, stay in, never quit, and do the work.
Right. If you add that final fourth item in there, then you're a distributor. Otherwise, get in, stay in, never quit. You're a customer.
Which is fine, by the way.
It is. We all have lots of them. Reid, listen, I sincerely appreciate you taking time to join us on this broadcast. You always bring a wealth of information. I know you got to run. Thanks again. Give my best to Yvonne. We'll look forward to the next time you join us.
All right. Thanks, Fred. See you. Bye, everyone.
Take care. We'll let Reid go back to the other side. So, ladies and gentlemen, I sure hope you enjoyed that. This was kind of a last-minute thing. I was able to get a hold of Reid, and mostly, like I said, because of that broadcast, he said one thing on that broadcast that just resonated so much. It prompted today's training topic, successful prospecting 101. And while we kind of, the information Reid shared, I mean, I've been writing notes like crazy here, and I want you to think about this. When a guy like me, who's been around for such a long time in his profession, so long with Zija International, and I'm not going to brag, but I've done really, really well. If I'm taking notes on something that Reid Nelson's saying, there's some gold there, okay? And that was one of the things that Reid pointed out, or one sentence that Reid made in that broadcast on the Zija Champions page. He said you have an 80% better chance of sponsoring someone if you're not alone, if it's not just you. And so I had a few things I wanted to go through, and then I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions on how to get some information that will help you get really grounded in the fundamentals, the basics of what we do. I'm going to wrap that up here pretty quickly. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back right at the top of the hour for a short, team-wide meeting. Everybody is welcome to join. This is for all teams in Zija, and we want to kind of give you a little focus for this upcoming 4 weeks, because as of today, we started period 147. So, couple of the fundamentals, if you will, successful prospecting 101. Let me give you a couple of those points. All right. If you want to be successful in prospecting, whether that's being, acquiring a customer or acquiring a new distributor, number one, identify what it is you want to share. Okay. So for instance, if you're prospecting, Bob, to be a potential customer, focus on the product. Okay, let that be the message to give to Bob. If you're looking at, Mary, being, an ideal candidate to join your business, to participate with you in sharing our products and developing a residual income, focus on the opportunity. Okay, that would be the focus. Now, that may seem like that's common sense, but let me share with you what most people do. They'll approach Bob and they'll say, "Oh, Bob, man, you have got to try this product. You got that arthritis problem. I've had my bad shoulder. I've been drinking the super mix. And you know what? A lot of people that got that same problem, and you can get them customers, and you can start building people and build a business." And, in a matter of a few seconds, Bob isn't sure what the heck's going on. He don't know if you want him to, buy, sign up, sell, or what. Okay, and write this in your notes. The confused mind says no. The confused mind says no, which should be kind of a clue on how much information you should be giving somebody, initially, or, at different times that you're providing information. Less is typically more, okay? Rather than giving, Bob information on all, 4 million products we have available, why not target 1 or 2? Keep it simple. Keep it metabolizable. Make it to where they can take in that information. Now, Mary, okay? Mary you see as a potential business builder with you. When you start going, "Oh, Mary, I've got this incredible opportunity, allows you to, create residual income, and there's all these great products, and we got essential oils and sports nutrition and CBD oil, Mary's getting bombarded with opportunity, products, and then you start sharing all the product information. And again, she just doesn't understand what it is you are asking her to look at. My focus has always been identify who it is I'm speaking to first, then provide, and why, and then provide that information. Now, be very clear. We're going to do both. I mean, if you can divide it into two, sharing product information, sharing, information on the opportunity, we're going to do both with each one of those types of individuals. It's just a matter of what's our focus going to be. So for instance, with Bob, I'm going to try and get him to use our products. And as he's using our products, I'm going to be exposing him to more information, maybe different products. And I'm going to, what I would ideally do, and this has always kind of been my focus when it's somebody that I'm not specifically interested in having in the business, is I make them a satisfied customer. I've talked about this on previous trainings. My very first company was a, weight loss nutrition company, and they taught us follow-up, day 1, day 3, day 7, day 14, day 21. Day 1, first of all, day 0, get them on the product. Tell them how to use the products so they can get started first thing tomorrow. Day 1 follow-up. How did you enjoy the product? I mean, I want to know the very first day they start the products, I want to know how it went. Because if there's a problem on day 1, I want to fix it right away. If everything's going well, they go, yeah, tasted fine, it was really easy to do, no problem. Great, I'll check back in with you. Day 3 follow-up. Okay, I'll let them go a couple days and I'll do day 3. Now, if on day 1 follow-up, I hear something like, well, it tasted okay, but it was hard to drink all that much liquid first thing in the morning. I'm going to solve the problem. Any kind of problem they've got, any kind of objection I always have the same response. That's great. I can help with that. That's great. I can help with that. Instead of, oh my, no, really? No, that's great. I can help with that. And, I'm going to suggest maybe, hey, break it into 2 servings, right? Have half the serving in the morning, half the serving in the afternoon. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to day 1. If the follow-up on day 1, day 3, day 7 is good, then they go to the next level. If day 1 follow-up's good, I'll do day 3. If day 3 follow-up's good, I'll do then day 7. But if I got any problem in there, I bring it right back into day 1, day 3, day 7. I want to have a positive experience. And what I'm demonstrating with this level of, frankly, integrity or authenticity in my statement that I want them to get good results is I'm demonstrating that. Okay, I am showing them that their results on the product, their ability to get the benefits they're looking for, is more important to me than the money I make. Now, we get down to day 21 follow-up, things are going good, and each time I'm following up, I'm trying to elicit positive responses. Okay, so I'm listening for, day 3, I don't know if it's the Zija or not, Fred, but, it seems like I had a little more energy during the day today after work, or during, the afternoon. I didn't seem to need that extra, cup of coffee that I normally need, at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And I go, wow, that's great. That's exactly what most people say. That's actually one of the very first things people notice is they have a little bit more energy during the day. Or, seem to sleep a little bit better at night. Wow, that's great. That's actually one of the things most people seem to notice right away. See, I want them to start recognizing the little subtle changes that they're experiencing on the product are actually a result of the product. That's really why they're noticing those results. Day 21, I've got a satisfied customer. I'm going to encourage them to continue that process. Hey, you can keep the wholesale price, just be on our automatic reorder program, and get them committed to the next month, and then of course the month after that. And at that point in time, couple of things might happen. It's not uncommon to hear somebody say, Fred, the gals at the office were noticing how much more energy I had, and they were wondering what I was doing. Could I, sell this to them? People will elevate to distributor. If I don't hear something like that, I'm gonna say, I appreciate, you being a customer. Maybe you could help me out. You might know a few people that would be interested in trying the product too. And I sure appreciate the referral. Ask for the referrals. And if I can get some referrals, I'm going to offer an opportunity. I don't know if you'd be thinking about this, Bob, but you could be a distributor and you could make the money. And sometimes people say yes. I've had people say no, just take care of my friends. And you won't get problems getting referrals when people recognize you'll give their friends the same level of high quality support, follow-up, and caring that you gave them. Now, conversely, business prospect. Okay, so the point I'm making here, while we led with the product, we're going to bring the business in on the back end of that at some point in time. Okay, the business prospect, I'm going to talk about the issues related to the opportunity, ability to create leverage. Okay, as opposed to me going and getting 100 customers, I can have 10 distributors get 10 customers, and I've got 100 customers in my organization through leverage. I'm going to talk about the advantages of residual income. I'm going to talk about the advantages of an additional income stream over and above their current business that doesn't require inventory, overhead, massive, investment, time investment, and so on. Leveraging contacts as opposed to time. I'm going to talk about all the business advantages, but as Reid said, of course you're going to talk about the products, okay? But I don't make the product the focus. I make the benefits of the opportunity the focus, allow the products to be the reason for the opportunity. So, one thought, basic fundamentals of prospecting. Identify first what it is you're prospecting that person for. Are they a potential customer? Are they a potential distributor? Do not confuse their mind by throwing everything at them. The simple system, critical to being successful. And see, this is the reason why guys like me can do well in this business, okay? Some of you, I don't know, nickel version of my background. I was a cross-country truck driver, okay? That was my, I've done lots and lots of things before network marketing, but I was driving trucks at that time. I'd been doing that for a number of years. It's the one career in my life that actually made the most money before network marketing was driving trucks. And I love driving trucks. And the average person wouldn't consider me as a good potential prospect for network marketing, but I was, okay? Number one, I had really good work ethics. I mean, I was a hard worker. Number two, I was very coachable because I didn't know anything about this business. I was the kind of guy that knew I had to learn about this business. And number three, I had a white hot burning desire to change my life. I needed a lot more money. I needed a lot more time freedom at that point in my life. I have a special needs son, was heading to school age, and if I was going to do for him what every parent wants, to be able to provide the best opportunities for their children, I needed to make a ton of money so I could pay for the resources he needed, and I needed a lot of time freedom. So, you never know who your top prospect is. He might be disguised as a truck driver, right? He might come disguised as a truck driver. But I was definitely looking. And when I was exposed to this opportunity, what made sense to me, and it wasn't, the compensation plan information. Frankly, it wasn't even a lot about the products or the company. What made sense to me was the fella that prospected me was already $1 million earner in network marketing. And he said he got there by following a simple system that was duplicatable by the masses. And I wasn't afraid of hard work. I just needed to know, could I do it and would it work? And the person I was talking to, I was fortunate, my sponsor was $1 million earner. Now, that wasn't enough. The fact that one person could do it, that didn't convince me. What he did is he introduced me through videotape recordings to many, many people who had similar results. This is leading to the comment that kind of prompted today's training from what Reid Nelson did a couple days ago on that live broadcast. You have an 80% better chance of successfully prospecting somebody if you don't do it alone. What does that mean? That means use other people's stories, have other people involved. Well, I've been around doing network marketing since the mid-'80s. Today, this is incredibly easy. We used to have to, drag people, 100 miles, to Los Angeles to meet the successful people. Now you can do this via Zoom meeting anywhere. I can plug into, and actually I've been doing quite a bit of that recently. Small team meetings, with groups in Atlanta, up in Alberta. It doesn't really make any difference where your prospect is. You have the ability to have them and somebody else who can share the story, somebody besides you. Now, one of the things you need to be aware of is that oftentimes your story is not an advantage to you. And a lot of people think, well, yeah, I'm just getting started. I don't have any of the big incomes, or I've been around for a while and I don't have the big incomes. That's, my story is not my advantage, right? Well, there's another side to that. My story is not necessarily my advantage when I do prospecting. People expect me to be making a lot of money. My big advantage comes from being able to leverage other people on the team, people that are relatively new, people who've been around for a while. I'm looking at the list of people that are part of attending the live broadcast right now. Several of those people are people that I have actually used their story when I'm doing my prospecting, because it's a lot more believable when I can share other people's stories as opposed to mine, because frankly, my story's a little unbelievable these days. I mean, I'll tell you who really has a hard time believing is me, and I cash the checks. So it's a lot better to have somebody else's story. One last thing I want to do, we're going to take a little break before we start the next presentation. I want to direct you to my YouTube channel. It's www.fredholmes.com. No, www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija, all put together, Fred Holmes Zija. That's where we archive our Saturday morning trainings. A little later on today, you'll be able to go there and see that this broadcast recording will be put up there. Our Thursday night Biz Talks presentations are there. There's lots of stuff there. But in particular, I want you to note that the playlist tab on the YouTube channel. You're going to see a playlist tab, and that playlist tab will have 4 little videos in it called New Distributor Training. And I really encourage you, if you haven't gone there to look at those videos, I encourage you to do so. Not because the videos are really good. I mean, the production quality, I mean, it's, I'm not marketing that stuff. What I'm sharing on there are the things that I've gathered over the last 34, coming up on 35 years now, being in or around this industry. That first video is called New Distributor Training. It's 30 minutes long, and it's, I will humbly say, it's all you need to know. Okay, it really is the foundation of our business. It's what we do and how we do it. And folks, if you focus on just that 30-minute video, you will know what we do and how we do it. Now, you'll find 3 more little 10-minute videos there. So now another 30 minutes, if you will, of your time. Those 3 little videos, additional videos, those are what I call the fast start training. How to create a prospect list, how to develop your Zija story, a 90-day game plan. If you take the time to go through that, and again, forgive me, I mean, sometime I'll probably get around to redoing them and they'll look really nice and fancy dancy, and I probably won't. Okay, we got too much stuff to do for me to waste time doing that stuff. So forgive the presentation quality, get the information. Okay, that's what you're looking for. If you focus on getting that and doing that, folks, I'm just sharing with you the things that I was taught and that I put into practice in my first network marketing company. I spent 2 years there. I did well. I mean, I did a lot better than I did as a truck driver. Wrong timing with that company. Went to a second company with better timing, and I made a fortune, and I retired. I retired in my mid-40s. I came out of retirement for Zija. And frankly, working part-time with Zija, this is such an incredible company, such incredible products. I've literally eclipsed in terms of income what I did the first time around. So hopefully that's selling you on checking out those videos. Now, we're going to take a little break right at the top of the hour. We're going to come back. We'll do a short focus meeting for first Saturday of the period team meeting. You can just stay connected if you want, or you come right back to the link you used. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause right now, and I'll be back here in just a few minutes, top of the hour, first Saturday of the period team meeting. All right, we'll see you in just a little bit.